fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you're working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today I am going to be working on my Benedict Blue. I haven't worked on this one for a while, so I'm going to be working on this one today. This one is a square, as you can see, but I love how it's coming together. So let me zoom into where I'm going to be working and I will be right back. All right, let me start with my regular life. What's been going on in my regular life? Not a ton. Hubby got 2 free monitors this week. We happened to be stopping by McDonald's and they were out. They were switching out their monitors for the signage on the drive-thru. And as we were driving by, hubby jokingly was like, oh, those would make good TVs. And as we drove a little further by, hubby saw a sign that said on the side of the box, free TVs. So he went up and asked the guy, there's nothing wrong with the monitors, but they're switching them out because they're no longer under warranty. So McDonald's doesn't want them anymore. So they're switching them out for ones that are under warranty. So there's no audio built in. It's just like a computer monitor, no speakers. But if you hook up a soundbar to it or something, you can essentially turn it into like a TV. So we got 2 of them, and hubby brought one home and we gave the other to his oldest. And they're both going to try and figure out how they can hook them up so they can each have a giant, it's like a 55-inch TV screen in their little man caves. We'll see how it works out. Hubby's still working on trying to figure out how to get all the cords and everything attached, but they were free. Of course, the first thing he does is go out and look and see how much they're worth. And I'm like, they're not worth anything. McDonald's was giving them away for free. And he's like, yeah, but if you had to buy one, it was like $7,000. Yeah, but they're used, so no one's going to pay you $7,000 for them. And also, they don't have any speakers, built-in speakers. So for most people who don't have sound bars and that sort of thing, it's not useful as a TV. I guess you could use it as a computer monitor, but who needs a computer monitor that's 55 inches big? Not me. But I guess we'll see how it goes for both of them. In other news, my knee is slightly better. I went in and saw the doctor. The anti-inflammatories he had me on helped, but not enough. And he said, well, we can try you on a different, even higher powered anti-inflammatory, or we can just go straight to a cortisone shot. And I said, well, I think I just want to go straight to the cortisone shot because essentially that's what it took. I mean, my left knee, I had an MRI, I had x-rays, I had all different kinds of things done for them to eventually tell me it's bursitis and give me a steroid shot. And that steroid shot, while my left knee is not at 100%, it has not been anywhere near as bad as my right knee lately. So I'm like, okay, we'll just do that. Because he does think it is bursitis and tendonitis. He doesn't think it's arthritis or osteoarthritis. He said my symptoms don't match those. So I got a cortisone shot and it has felt better. I'm still dealing with, because it's been in so much pain, I've been walking weird. So my sciatica has been flaring up. So I'm still trying to deal with getting that under control now that I can walk somewhat normally again. So fingers crossed that this helps, because I want to get back to going on regular walks with my youngest and not feeling like I have to sit down 5 minutes after I walk into someplace. Nothing makes you feel older than being like, I can't stand in line. Like, not that I don't want to, I literally can't. I did make it through a couple of stores grocery shopping, so that's better than I was doing. But again, it's not at 100% yet. So he said to give it 3 or 4 days, and hopefully by then everything will be a lot better. So that was on Thursday. I've got the weekend, because the youngest and I usually go walking on Mondays. So we'll see how I feel on Monday. He's been jonesing to get out and go for a walk. I told him he could take the dogs with him. He hasn't wanted to do that either. I did call and get vet appointments made for the dogs. So we have appointments for them in September to take them and get all of their vaccinations, which I was kind of annoyed that we didn't get it all done the first time, but I guess this way at least we spread it out a little bit so the money gets spread out a little bit that we have to spend instead of spending it all at once. And I guess I could have spread it out. When we bought the flea and tick medication, she's like, do you just want one, which is 1 month's supply? And I was like, no, I'll take 6 months, which is part of why it was so expensive, but I wanted them on the flea and tick meds, so. And they were both super good. They just chewed them up like they were treats, so I didn't have to try and hide them in peanut butter or anything. It's been really rainy and gloomy here the last couple of days. It rained quite a bit on Friday, and then it was raining again Saturday morning. And it was supposed to rain all day on Saturday, and I told my husband, I'm just wearing my comfy pants around the house. I'm not planning on going anywhere on Saturday. We're just going to relax and watch TV and probably diamond paint, of course, because my house this week has been all about the sports. Well, there's a Grand Prix race this weekend, so hubby's watching that and practice and qualifying and all the things. And of course, soccer started, so everybody's watching. My son is really into soccer, so he's been watching all of the soccer games. I'm not really sure why. He never played soccer, never really showed an interest in soccer, but he likes watching it. So he's been watching that. And then the Canadian football games started, so hubby's been watching those. And of course, we have all of the baseball games that are on. So it's been a very sports-filled week at my house, which is fine. I told my husband if I get tired of watching sports, I'll just come into the sunroom, and while I diamond paint, I've got my own TV in here now, so I can watch whatever I want, which is nice. He set it all up for me with, I've got Prime and Disney Plus, which includes Hulu, and I've got Roku stuff, and I've got free TV like Tubi and Pluto and some other things. So I very rarely run out of things to watch, which is good. I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff that way. Also, I was telling hubby on the plus side, because it is rainy and gloomy today, nobody should be out driving motorcycles or trying to mow their lawns while I'm trying to film today. So hopefully the most I'll get is some loud cars. And of course, as soon as I said that, the universe has to prove me wrong, and a motorcycle just drove by. Ah, well. Hubby and I are also, well, hubby's waiting patiently. I'm waiting impatiently. There's a style of art called Haida or Haida. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Haida. Haida is, I think, how it's pronounced. And it's like an indigenous tribal style of art. And I've been wanting to kind of study it and see how it works. One of those things I leave one of my browser tabs open to all the time, because eventually at some point I'll get back to it. Anyway, hubby found a website that sells shirts made by indigenous people that has this style of art on it. So we ordered some, and I can't wait for them to get in. One, because they're super cool looking, and two, because I need some new shirts. But I don't know how long it's going to take for them to come in, so I'm impatiently waiting for them. I hope they get here by the end of the month. It's so hard to tell these days if it's somebody that's just like drop shipping something, and so it's going to take a while because it's on the slow boat, or if it's something that's going to get to you relatively quickly. I'm trying to decide which one of these symbols I want to do next. This is a very different color palette than my rainbow dragon. I think that's everything I wanted to tell you about my regular life. I really didn't have a ton going on this week, mostly because I spent most of it waiting to go see the doctor about my knee, trying to stay off of it to let the anti-inflammatories work, and then also trying to stay off of it for the cortisone shot to work. So we'll see on Monday how I feel. Anyway, so that's everything, I think, for my regular life. If I think of something, I'll ramble back to it as usual. So what's been going on in my diamond painting life? Well, not a ton in my diamond painting life either. I have been trying to diamond paint more. I'm on a new medication that I don't know how to describe what it's doing, but it makes it hard for me to focus to read, but it makes it easier for me to focus on diamond painting, which seems like a bizarre thing, but it is what it is. Because I'm used to just zipping through a book Like I can usually read 1 to 2 books a day if they're not huge, but it's taking me 3 or 4 days to get through one now, which is not a big deal other than I set myself a reading goal every year and I've had to adjust that because there's no way I'm going to make it with my current pace. But I was also told I probably should adjust it and be taking it at night rather than first thing in the morning. So I'm going to try doing that and see if that helps with my focus during the day because it makes me sleepy, which isn't a huge deal, but I want to be sleepy at night when it's time to sleep, not during the day when I need to be awake and focused. So is it just me, or when you're diamond painting, does everyone have a moment where you're like, oh no, I've just stuck all of those on the wrong color? And then you look and you're like, oh, no, I didn't. That's the right color. Why am I worried? I'm also trying to get laundry done today. One of my least favorite activities. When am I going to get my Rosie the robot that does my laundry for me? Scrubs my toilets, cleans my bathroom, scrubs the shower. My shower with the conveyor belt that just moves you through everything, washes your hair for you. And then you get that little makeup and hairdo thing that Jane Jetson used to put on her head. Did your hair, did your makeup. Wouldn't that be awesome? I think they had something like that in Fifth Element too, at least for makeup. Like she put that little thing, it looked like a viewfinder on her eyes and it did her eye makeup. Something like that. I need to watch that movie again. That's one of my favorite movies. Okay, wow. Way off topic again. That had absolutely nothing to do with my diamond painting. Okay, so what's going on in my diamond painting life? I've been working on the rainbow dragon for our DP for pets. I guess technically this one would qualify for DP for pets too. It's got 2 birds on it. I just haven't made it that far yet. So I've been working on that one and this one, and of course also the rainbow dragon for doing double duty for Pride as well. This one has a lot of different colors, but I don't know if I would call it rainbow necessarily. They're kind of too muted for that. Muted rainbow? I don't know. Anyway, so I've been working on that. I want to get this one and the rainbow dragon one finished so I can work on slow jazz. I actually considered starting slow jazz today and working on it for this whip and chat, but it unfortunately didn't come with a PDF that I could load into Pattern Keeper. So I just have to kind of keep track of things myself. And that means my brain has to do extra work, which is not a good thing because I already get off track enough when I'm doing my whip and chats. So I think it's probably good that I chose this one. You wouldn't think that not having the symbols on the canvas would make that much of a difference, but it does. I can't tell you how many mistakes I've already had to fix because I got one off in my count somewhere. So annoying. I mean, it's not annoying that I'm making mistakes. I'm not surprised about that, but I'm trying to be super careful. So when I do make a mistake, it's like really, like I'm truly trying really hard not to make a mistake and I'm still making them. Although maybe that's when you make the most mistakes, when you're hyper aware. If I was less worried about it, would I make less? Who knows? Anyway, those are my goals to finish out June, is to finish the Rainbow Dragon, finish this one, and finish slow jazz. Because then when I get into July, I'm going to be doing like a Christmas in July thing and trying to finish up my Christmas shop one that I started last Christmas and get that one done. And then that would lead me right into August, which is our August Diamond Paint Along, and the theme is water. So if you have anything that qualifies, I'm going to be doing, if you saw the video yesterday, I'm going to be doing one of my mermaid kits. But if you have something that has something else to do with water that qualifies, somebody was saying like a beach scene, like my nautical beach hut would qualify, my Christmas shells would qualify, anything that's got like beach water. So even if it's just like somebody holding a glass of water, I would count that. Waves outside the window, something like that. It still feels like I'm jumping the gun and prepping things a bit too early, but I know there are people out there who prep and plan their entire year of canvases, which I could do, I suppose, but I feel like there's a little more element of joy to it if I am like, what kit do I feel like working on now? Because I do think that your tastes change. And that's why I have donated or gifted on some of my kits, because there are several that I bought during FOMO that I was like, I just don't think I'm ever going to get to this one. It's big, it's square usually. I'm just ready to let it pass on to someone else and make room for new things, which frustrates hubby a little bit, because he's like, well, you've already spent the money on it, you might as well just do it. And I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but I've already spent the money on it. So I feel worse having it hang around knowing that I'm probably never going to work on it than if I just pass it on to someone else and let them get the joy of working on it. Maybe what I should do is have like somebody suggested doing like some kind of diamond painting get together. I was going to say I could bring some of my larger kits so that people could see how it works and then I could pass them on. But I don't know if some of my bigger kits would be too intimidating for people. I suppose I could just bring a couple of big ones and let people start at different areas. How would that work? Would you have everyone like just bring a kit and then have everybody like work together to kit it up? I mean, I could bring spare storage and that sort of thing. Storage that I wouldn't mind if I didn't get it back. That's my dad talking. Never loan out anything you aren't willing to never see again, including money. If you expect it back, you shouldn't loan it out. Not that people shouldn't return your things, but people are people. Anyway, I feel like that would be a good introduction. Like, here's how you kit it up. Here's the different kinds of storage you might be able to use or find, and then go from there. And have, like, if it was a big kit, have different people working on different sides of the, like one on the top, one on the bottom or something. Or should everybody have their own kit? I guess it would depend on how many people were there. I could probably supply enough kits for like 4 people plus myself without feeling like I was dipping into stuff I didn't want to. Because I do have things in my collection that I do want to do myself, even though it probably sounds like I don't sometimes. I did order some new diamond painting supplies to try out, but they were all things that I could not get through Amazon Canada. So I ordered them and had them sent to my daughter's house, because it's cheaper to have her get it and then send it to me than it is for me to order it all the different places. Because some of it I couldn't get anywhere but Amazon, and some of it was stupid expensive ordering it from the direct website. So now I've got to get her to send me like a care package. And I was like, oh, she's never sent me anything before. I've always had my sister do it. But then I was like, no, she needs to learn how to send me stuff here in Canada. Plus, her landlord used to work for the postal service. So I'm like, you can just ask her. I'm sure she'll be able to help you fill out all the forms and everything, so it'll get here no problem. And maybe even know a cheaper way to do it. Because this one doesn't have to get here like next day, or sometimes when my sister sends stuff, it needs to be here pretty timely. I mean, I'd like the stuff to get here quickly, but it doesn't have to get here tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because I want to get them so I can test them out. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about was lists of new places to try. And I had asked you guys in one of my videos which new places, because I wanted to try some new places. And I doubly wanted to try some new places after watching some videos by other creators about what people want in a canvas. And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, what is it that I look for when I look for a canvas? And I think I've said before that mainly what I look for is something that makes me do a double take when I'm passing by. But I know that I have very specific tastes. Like, I am drawn to something very colorful and cutesy. I am not drawn to anything that is like dark or gothic or horror. Like, I don't watch horror movies. I'm not interested in Freddy Krueger or Jason or Halloween or Mothman or any of that kind of stuff. None of that is of interest to me at all. I get why it's interesting to other people, but it's not my thing. Just like I read a comment that said, yeah, no more cutesy girls and unicorns and animals. I'm not 12 years old. Well, I'm not 12 years old either, but I like cutesy animals and things and colorful things. So sue me. Anyway, so what I was thinking about was a list of artists that I would like to try personally, and then a list of artists, because I'm trying to come up with different video scripts, a list of artists that I wouldn't buy again, or that I just wouldn't buy to begin with. And there are some pretty popular artists on my I wouldn't buy from them again list. Some of them are artists that I've actually purchased a painting and done one, and just after that went, yeah, no, that style is not for me. And then there are some that I've purchased and didn't even open and went, yeah, I'm never going to do this kit. Why did I buy it? And then there are some artists on the list where I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to do anything from this artist because it's all dark gothic, really dark colors, which is not something I'm interested in. So yeah. And then I had a list of artists that I want to try. And as I was making my list, I'm like, well, should I put this person on the list because actually I have a kit by that person? So clearly I do want to try them because I purchased a kit by them. But then I had some pictures or some artists on the list that I haven't tried yet. I had someone, I think it was Sylvia, make a comment that she's wanted to do a Margaret Morales forever. And I was like, same, but I've never bought one. And she said that she had to stop and think, why does she want to do one so much? Is it just because everyone else seems to like that artist? Or is it because there's something out there that she truly wanted to do? And maybe she was wanting to do a kit by her for the wrong reasons. And I thought, ooh, now I have to stop and go rethink everybody that's on my list because one, Margaret Morales was on that list. And two, is it somebody that I'm really interested in doing, or is it just because she's popular and I think I need to? Like, I really want to do a Jeremiah Kettner. I've seen several different ones of his that I think are super cute, and I want to do one. I already own a Jeremiah Kettner, so I'm good there. But for Margaret Morales, I haven't ever purchased one of her kits. And why is that? She has a ton of them. Have I just not had one catch my eye? And if that's the case, why? Why am I so convinced that I need to do one by her if one of hers has never caught my eye? And please don't think that I'm comparing any artists or I'm dissing any artists. I'm not. It's all in the eye of the beholder. And I think Margaret Morales has some very, very pretty watercolor art. However, I've never purchased one. So what does that say? So I think I'm going to have to go back and look at some of my lists again before I film anything and see, make sure I'm doing things for the right reasons as well. Because like I said, I want to get to the point where every single thing I open up is like, oh my gosh, like Christmas morning, I get to finally work on this kit. Not, okay, let me work on this one and get it done and get it out of the way so that I have room to work on other things. I thought about having a D-stash sale. I just don't know about that either. I'd be afraid that somebody's going to get stuck with a big bill shipping them to the States. So I don't know. I think my idea of doing a diamond painting get together with people and providing some kits maybe is my best idea out of all of that. Because then I would be able to donate some of my kits to people who might use them. And I might make some more diamond painting friends that we could do more get-togethers. How do I advertise for that? Do I just put something out? I'm not on Facebook, so how would I do that? I guess I could just do it here. You guys, if you live in New Brunswick, Canada, send me an email if you would be interested in doing something like that. My idea was just kind of to get together for an evening or something, but if there's people who are already interested in diamond painting, or you know someone who lives in New Brunswick who might be interested in diamond painting. I live on the east side of New Brunswick, but maybe we could do like an overnight kind of thing. I don't know. Could be fun. Sort of like a retreat, but everybody's responsible for their own selves. I don't want to have to plan beyond showing up and providing some stuff. I'm just too lazy. All right, is there anything else I wanted to tell you? Oh, I did order a couple of things. I asked you guys for places to buy from, and you guys came through. I went through, I meant to order something from Ever After. I haven't ordered from them yet. I did order something from Mystical Dream Diamonds. However, it didn't charge me shipping, but it did say there might be import duties. So we'll see what happens there. The other one I ordered from was Pressed and Placed, which a lot of you had good things to say about. It's $22 shipping. Now that's Canadian. The price of the kit was small enough that I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and pay it and see, because I was just only ordering one kit and it's not super huge, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully I won't get bills from anybody for those. One of them, I don't remember which one, said it was going to take like between 2 to 6 weeks, so if it's coming on the slow boat, I shouldn't have to pay anything extra. But you never know. Sometimes it seems like it's just luck of the draw when it goes through customs. Anyway, so I ordered from both of those, so I think I've spent my budget for the month for June between the stuff that I ordered on Amazon and then the 2 kits that I ordered, which is fine because I didn't really spend anything in May, so I'm not going to be over budget or anything. But yeah, thank you to everybody who gave me input into places that I can buy from, because that's something that I've noticed is that somebody asked me, and I don't remember who, I'm sorry, but somebody asked me about other places to shop at because some of the more premium places are like, I just don't ever see anything that's something I want or something I would buy. And I think we all kind of forget there's a million different places out there. Now, if you don't want to buy budget kits and you don't want to do Temu or AliExpress or whatever, then don't. No shame if you do, but if you don't, then whatever. But there are lots of other places. There are people who sell stuff on Etsy. There are people who have their own websites, which is what I would rather do. Canna Lynn has her own website. Sherry Baldy has her own website. Lots of people have their own websites to buy their diamond paintings. And there are lots of places. This person was specifically looking for medium-sized kits because a lot of the more premium places, it seems like all of the kits are big and square, which is not always something that everybody wants, myself included. Diamond Art Club has they have a lot of like Disney/Marvel stuff, Harry Potter stuff, Peanuts, that sort of thing, but they have a lot of dark and gothic stuff that's not really my style. They do have some cute stuff as well, but it's all big and square, and so sometimes that is enough to turn me off of it. I like Oraloa. Oraloa has a lot of cute stuff, in my opinion. Theirs can be kind of large, though. They do have a lot of, I think, more cute things. They have way less like dark and gothic type stuff than, say, someplace like Diamond Art Club. I like Dreamer Designs, although I haven't ordered from them in a while. They have a nice variety, although theirs tend to be more like landscapes and realistic and portraits type stuff rather than, they don't have a lot of like dark gothic things. They do have a couple, but not a ton. It tends to be more landscapes and people and that sort of stuff. I'm trying to think whatever else is out there. Bella Art Diamonds was my recommendation because this person was looking for what she called more medium-sized kits. Now, I don't know what you consider medium. Small for me is like 30 by 30, 30 by 40. Medium is like 50 by 50-ish and up till you get to like 50 by 70 or 50 by 80, something like that. 60 by 80, that and bigger is big territory to me. But I think Bella Art does a good job of having lots of options for smaller sized kits, or medium size, I guess. They do have a lot of square ones, but they do also have round kits, so I think they have a nice selection, although they do tend to be, I wouldn't say they're more cutesy. They have landscapes and things too. They do have some cute stuff, but it tends to be more, I don't know, watercolor slash realistic rather than cutesy type stuff. They do have some cute stuff, but there's a mix. So I do think that each site kind of has its own personality, because obviously whoever's running the site is generally trying to appeal to what they think will sell, but also that may be biased because of what they like, right? So I do think that each website has a certain feel to it. That being said, I looked at several of the places that you guys gave me. Some I was like, the kits are a little too pricey for me. Some, the shipping was a little too pricey. Some just weren't my style of kits. A myriad of reasons that I decided not to buy from some. But I do have a good list, so I thank you guys for that. And thank you for all of your insightful comments because, like I said, I had been working on a script for a video, and I was going to talk about how I wanted to get a Margaret Morales kit, and now I got to think about it. Do I want it just because I want to say I did a Margaret Morales? Or do I want to do it because it's a kit I actually am going to enjoy? Because I do think it's easy sometimes to get carried away with, well, this is what's popular right now, so I'm going to get that, even though it's not necessarily anything that you would enjoy in the first place. Like, I don't mind trends, but I don't want to follow a trend just because it's a trend. So leave me a comment down below and let me know, is there an artist that you want to do because they're trendy? Is there an artist that you would never do again and why? Because I've got a list of those too. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video and all my rambling. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.